All right, he's back. So, like I've been talking about a few weeks ago, I made the mistake of clicking on a migraine reel in my Facebook feed, and now Facebook keeps showing me these things over and over again, and I keep getting triggered. So, here we go. Dr. Painkiller is back in my feed, and we're going to take a look.
Some of the things making your migraine worse are the ones you think are helping. Number one, oversleeping or sleeping in. While sleep deprivation is a well known trigger, oversleeping is also associated with migraine attacks.
Okay, he's talking about getting up too early, undersleeping or oversleeping, right? Obviously, these are notorious issues for chronic migraine sufferers, right? So, oh boy, I'm going to try to catch an early morning flight, so I've got to get up at 4 a.m. Oh, great, I'm probably going to get a migraine as I'm on this trip. Or, I would love to be able to sleep in, catch up on a little sleep, just relax on the weekends, but I can't. If I sleep too late, oh no, I'm probably going to get a migraine. So what he's saying is, most migraine sufferers are aware of this early morning issue with migraines, but he's saying that, a lot of people don't expect that if you sleep in, this could give you a migraine too. I mean, I think a lot of migraine sufferers are aware of this. He's presenting this. Let me keep playing because I think, does he say migraine brain? This is gonna really set me over the edge. I know he says it at one point here. I think it might be on this one.
The migraine brain loves routine, not chaos.
Okay, yeah. The migraine brain loves routine and not chaos. Okay. Oh my goodness. So you do not have a migraine brain. I do not have a migraine brain. You and I are prone to migraines. Everybody is prone to certain symptom patterns when they are not in a state of health. You and I have something in common. We are prone to migraines, but first we have to get out of a state of health. We do not have a migraine brain. This is the most ridiculous meme that is becoming more and more prominent in the migraine community. Do not buy into this. Do not believe this. This is not true. If it were true, how would I be sitting here staring, as I'm recording this, staring into bright light, okay? It has nothing to do with my brain, okay? So what this comes down to is our resiliency and vitality. And I talk about this on the podcast. So part of the recovery process, part of the process to restore your health is to restore your resiliency and vitality so that you can weather stressors. Routines conserve stressors. So what routines do is the body prepares for things, okay? When we're in the routine of eating lunch at noon every day, our digestive tract prepares for that routine. About 11:30, our digestive tract says, you know what, she usually eats around noon, so we're going to start making hydrochloric acid, we're going to start making enzymes, we're going to get moving here because she usually eats at noon. If we have no routine, then everything is just chaos, right? At any moment in time, I could be putting food in my stomach, and then the stomach isn't prepared for that. So routines, whether it's, our mealtime routines, it's our sleep routines, you drive the same amount of time every day to go to work, these routines, the body acclimates to them, and so instead of just pure and constant chaos all the time, the body starts preparing for things ahead of time. So that conserves stress. The more chaos and lack of preparation, that's going to be more stressful on the body. Stressors have to be countered by our own resiliency and vitality. So when you have to wake up a little bit earlier than your body is anticipating, that puts more stress on the system. That stress can push you into what I call your migraine zone. But if you have enough resiliency and vitality to keep the needle up out of your migraine zone, you're not going to get a migraine if you wake up early to catch a flight, if you sleep in late to just, enjoy the weekend a little bit. It has nothing to do with your brain. Stop believing this. In fact, I just went a couple months ago. We took a trip because my cousin got married in Phoenix. It was a wonderful occasion. I used to live in Phoenix. I really enjoy visiting. So when we were coming back, there was a very, very severe storm system that was coming through Illinois, and it was going to significantly impact O'Hare. And so we decided the day before that we were going to change our flight. And so guess what? The only flights that were open were the ones that nobody wants to take. And so we had to get up at 2:30 in the morning to catch that new flight that we had changed to. And guess what? I didn't get a migraine, okay? So do I have a migraine brain or do I not have a migraine brain? Because I just did this and I didn't get a migraine. Now, it's not that I didn't know what I was walking into, right? When we had to change our flight and I was like, we got to get up at 2:30 in the morning. Yeah, it crossed my mind, right? Because again, I used to have chronic migraines. I know what the deal is. I know, if my vitality is low, I could have a problem waking up at 2:30 in the morning. It's going to be a significant disruption in my routine. That's going to generate a stressor on my body. I have to have enough resiliency and vitality to withstand that. I had already been on a nice trip to Phoenix, right, where there were a lot of, the weather was totally different. We were at a wedding, right? There were a lot of things going on. But I didn't get a migraine. I didn't get a headache. Nothing bad happened to me. I was at work the next day. So this is, right? It's not the waking up too early. It's not waking up too late. That's not really the root of it. The root of it is our own resiliency and vitality so that we can weather the stress that a disruption in our routine generates. Okay, that's what I want you to take away, not this. Okay, not Dr. Painkiller.
Number 2, constantly pushing through pain instead of respecting early warning signs. Early treatment in the headache phase has a higher success rate, and there's even recent research showing that treatment in the prodrome phase might be even better.
So he's a neurologist, so this is what the neurologists always say. Okay, he's telling you to take your abortive medication the instant you get what I call the uh-oh moment, right? The uh-oh moment, you could call it the prodrome moment. The uh-oh moment is, uh-oh, I feel something brewing, right? Sometimes it's even hard to articulate, but I know if I kind of have this little thing that I feel that I can't even describe to anybody, uh-oh, I know that a migraine is probably brewing. So what he's saying is take that medication, don't try to push through, take that abortive medication as soon as possible. Okay, now, why do migraine sufferers not take the medication the instant they feel an uh-oh moment? Well, we're going to find out why in his next little number 3 here, okay? But what I want to say about this is, yes, do migraine sufferers push through when they start to get those signals? Uh-oh, something's brewing here. Do a lot of migraine sufferers push through? Absolutely they do. That's because of the panic, right? Uh-oh, I have a lot of things I want to get done today, and if I go down for the count, none of them are going to happen, right? So we start to develop sort of like a anxiety around, I know what's going to happen next. I know how bad this can get. Let me try to get everything done. Many times people will also go into a little bit of a denial, right? Maybe this time it won't be that bad. So that's actually what's going on when we start to have that uh-oh moment. But I want to go to this third point here, because he's saying in the second point, take your abortive medications as soon as possible. As soon as you have an uh-oh moment, take that medication. Right now, what does he say in the third point?
So don't wait for the migraine to declare itself. Just do it. Number 3, overusing pain meds. What starts as relief can turn into rebound headaches.
Rebound, right? This is where people just want to strangle their neurologist, right? So the neurologist first says, take it as soon as you have any uh-oh moment, right? And then when you go back, 6 months later and you say, well, I took my abortives like you told me to, the very first uh-oh moment I took my abortives, and now I've had a 10-day migraine I can't get out of, I think I'm in rebound, and the neurologist says, well, you can't take that many, why'd you take so many, right? What are you doing here? You're taking too many abortives, right? So on the one hand, he says, take it right when you have that first uh-oh moment, and then he gives you the standard lecture that, you can't take too many per month or you're going to go into rebound, right? So this is where people start to get really, really infuriated.
Frequent use of acute migraine medications can actually worsen migraine frequency and lead to progression from episodic to chronic migraine.
Okay, do you hear what he just said there? Frequent use of abortive medications make your migraines worse. Hello, right? That's what happened to me. That's what happened to every client that I work with. When migraines first start to occur, for the vast majority of people, the migraines don't happen that frequently. Maybe a few times a year, right? You take some Advil, you take a nap, you bounce back. But because you're not addressing the underlying conditions that are generating the migraines in the first place, they start to become more and more frequent. So you start to take more and more Advil over the counter, Excedrin, right? You start to ramp up the medication because things aren't working as well. You can't just take a a little Advil, a cup of coffee, and a nap and bounce back in 2 hours, right? This is lingering on and on. So then you go into the neurologist, you get the prescription abortives. You start taking those. It continues to get worse. He just said that. He just said that if you take the abortive medications, your migraines go from episodic to chronic. So, hello, can we stop the insanity here?
The threshold is lower than many expect, as few as 5 days per month for some medications. Migraine isn't random. It's
as few as 5 days per month for some abortive medications can put you into rebound. So, what's next? Oh, preventatives, right? Now we got to go on preventatives.
It's a threshold disease, and these habits quietly push you over the edge.
I mean, can we stop the insanity here? You don't have a migraine brain, but see, this is the problem. Okay, he's coming into the clip, telling you that you have a migraine brain. So if you have a migraine brain, everything flows from here, right? You've got this defective brain that's oversensitive, can't even get up early, can't even sleep late, got this faulty wiring, and then, we'll start you on the abortives, but that inevitably is going to make this thing worse, not because of the abortives, not because you're further suppressing the symptoms and adding toxins to a body that's already overloaded with toxins. Oh no, it's because your brain is faulty. So now, thank goodness we have preventatives. I hope we can have the Migraine Awareness Month raise some money for new drug development, new methods to prevent these horrible symptoms that are being generated because you have a faulty brain. Please stop the insanity. Hi there. I want to jump in real quick and tell you about my client Beth. She was getting 15 to 20 migraines and headaches per month, and as you can imagine, this was impacting her work performance and her confidence. She also has 2 small children, and she was starting to feel like she was a horrible mom because she had nothing left for them at the end of the day. But she reached out and she booked a free consult call with me, and after I asked her about her migraines and her health history, I felt confident that I could help her. I help women uncover the root drivers of their migraines and follow a step-by-step plan to dramatically reduce the frequency by up to 90% without adding more medication or taking a bunch of supplements. So we built her personal migraine map, followed the plan, and now she will get 1 to 2 migraines per year, which she uses ibuprofen to treat if she needs to, versus up to 15 to 20 per month when we first started working together that weren't responding well to any medication. She just reached out to tell me that she got a promotion at work, she's on top of her career again, and has been able to come off all of her migraine medication. But most importantly, she's a confident mom again, and she's attending birthday parties at Jump Zone with her kids and saying yes instead of saying maybe later. I've worked with women like Beth from all over the United States who were told, this is the best we can do, but they were still willing to dig deeper. So if you're serious about changing your migraine story, go to drlesliecaesar.com/apply or tap the link in the show notes, and on our free consult, we'll map out why your migraines keep coming back and the first 3 steps you can take over the next 30 days. I do cap new client spots each month, so if the calendar is full, the doors are closed for now. But if you're done feeling helpless and ready to do the work to heal, pause this episode for 30 seconds and book that consult call now.